Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I spent most of the morning trying to get everything together to lay that pipe out I talked about in the video before. but I don't have enough stuff to finish it, and I've got to be in Duffield tomorrow, so I'll stop by the Duffield hardware store and see if Brad's got what I need. He usually does. But today I wanted to show you something here I got my hands on. Now this is a Eastern Arms Company single shot 12 gauge. I was trying to see here. It don't say if it this is an old one. It says proof tested 12 gauge.
It's on your magazine too. Name and address.
And it doesn't say if it's a full choke or anything like that. So let me grab a dime and we'll check it.
How are you?
I thought you wanted to learn about alphagenics.
I do.
Okay, I don't know if people know how to do this or not, but if you want to check a choke on an old gun like this, take your dime, drop it down the barrel.
I only handle young single girls.
If it don't come out, it's a full choke, and this one has a choke.
Me too.
About that much, because that's where the dime stopped at. Now, roll this back out. That's just the simplest way to check on a choke, and I'm going to say this puppy's got a big choke in it. And let's see.
Core of self-contempt.
Try and get to reach see the barrel. It's got a good clean bore in it. It's a pretty clean gun.
Tape recorder.
It looks like, you know, some of the blue ones wore off on the this part where people's carried it in their hands and stuff.
The position being that all
the stock's got a little bit of wiggling. I'll tighten that up. If you, I don't know if he said or not.
Conditioned reflex.
And
which is, you know, simply
we'll go ahead and pull it apart.
particular.
Now on these old guns, you just take a hold of the barrel one hand and pull down the forearm with the other, and it'll come right apart. And then you just break down the barrel, and it'll come off of it, which will leave you with this piece here. Let me turn this TV down. Okay. Now, I'm going to visually look at this stock and stuff to make sure it ain't got no cracks or anything like that in it. And I don't see any. Let's see. It's got a flathead screwdriver back here. Let me see if I got one in my box. I usually do. Let me get the box up here. This is my gun cleaning box. It's just a mix match of everything I've ever had. It just old little things that come in don't last very long. Let's see. It don't look like I have a screwdriver. Let me grab a screwdriver and a socket and stuff so I can tighten this stock up, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, I'm back. I went and got a flathead screwdriver, and I remember that some of these old stocks have a flathead screw up in it that holds the gun together. Because this gun here is a considerably older gun. I did shoot it. It seems to function well. So I went ahead and thought I'd give it a good cleaning. Check everything out on it. Now later this winter, when I get to re-bluing and doing wood stuff on them, this in here is definitely a contender. Let me grab my flashlight and I'll look down in there and see what that has. And it does have a flathead screw, so we'll take this longer flathead screwdriver and see if it'll reach up in there and get it. It did. Okay. Now, when I go to put this back together, if it don't tighten up, I might put a washer or something in there to space that up a little bit so it'll tighten up. But the reason I took it apart, you got two springs right here. The upper one is the one that works the barrel brake. The bottom one is the one that is your spring for your hammer. And when your hammer pushes forward, it's got a firing pin right there that should have pushed out. See it there pushed out? And you see how it didn't really want to go back? So I'll get in there and clean that and stuff and get this to where it functions a little better. But the best I can research on this gun was from back in the late 50s to early 60s. I may be completely wrong. I'm not the best on these phones and computers and stuff. But I did want to get in here and I'm going to look it over real close. Like when you get these old guns, they're worth the looking over because, you know, you look in there and there's a lot of debris and stuff in there. This one here, well, I don't know if you can see it. Let me turn this light off. Right here, instead of having a flathead screw like normal, it's got a square bolt that holds this on. I've never seen one with that, so that's kind of a neat difference. I'm going to see if it'll twist out. I'm not going to put a lot of pressure on it because I definitely don't want to break it, you know, out for nothing. Just see how it works here. And when you do this stuff on these old guns, if you ain't never messed with it before, don't get in a hurry. Work them screws back and forth and let them have a, you know, their time of coming out because you don't know how long they've been in there. But let me go ahead and say on this one too. I am not a gunsmith. I just love guns and I love to work on guns and I like to, you know, clean them and stuff. I love to shoot them and everything. And that releases the trigger guard. Now, I could go in here and knock out pins and stuff and get in there to where I could clean all that up in there. But let me see where they're at. Right here, I keep Q-tips, a little pack of Q-tips in my gun cleaning kit for just the purpose like this. I'll take and put some of this cleaner. I've showed y'all this before, this goof off. I actually like it to clean because it gets all the dust and it kind of loosens the rust up too. But I'm just going to stick this back in there and try to give everything a pretty good cleaning. Because it's just like any other gun. You over oil it and people just want to drop oil down in them and stuff. And you get too much oil, then when the gun releases powder, it catches it. And, you know, it's going to just gum up the gun and make it jam and stuff like that. But I love these old guns, and I like working on them. I probably will restore this gun during the winter and try to put it back like a new one if I can. And, you know, I'll make a video of it then, but I want to get it kind of cleaned up and oiled up and, as I say, storage ready. But now, I'm telling you that right now, I would not be a bit afraid to take this gun out in the woods and hunt a deer, or not a deer. Well, yeah, if you, well, that full choke, I won't want to shoot buckshot through it. But, you know, if you had a turkey or something like that, if you was hunting a squirrel or something, yes, sir, this thing right here will still get it done all day. And they're getting harder to find. I mean, you just don't find these shotguns anymore. And I got a 22 over here that I hunted for 18 years for one. My dad had one. My brother got it. You know, he inherited it. And I always wanted me one to have one like Dad had. And finally found, well, I didn't find it. One of my neighbors found it in Indiana and brought it down to me because they're about impossible around here. But I'll give you a glimpse of it real quick. But this in here, man, I'm telling you, it was my pride and joy once I got it. It's a Remington 550-I. It still has the shell reflector, which is rare on these. Still got the original sights with the little lip plate and everything. Now, this little gun right here, I've taught every child around this neighborhood to shoot with. And now, you talking about one will take a bottle cap that time after time after time. Now, this is one. Now, I'm going to do a video on clean it, but the only blemishes on this gun is right here. It's got a little bit. And it looks like, I don't know, maybe somebody carried it right there, but eventually I will fix that. And I was going to send it to have it redone, but it don't need that much, but I will take this apart and clean it in another video. But my brother-in-law made me a sling out of that paracord, and I thought that was kind of neat. It don't rub on the wood or nothing, but that's another video. We'll do it that one later. I want to go ahead and work with this one. But like I said, I like old guns, and if I could, I'd probably have a room full of just older guns. And if I had the money and the time, I'd buy them and redo them all, just restore them all, put them back like they was when they come out of the factory if I could. Some of them you can. I'll be honest, some of them can, some of them you can't. I've got a friend of mine's guns in here, and I cleaned them for them, and I'll be honest with you, to restore those guns, it would cost more than the guns are worth. And, you know, the money's just not there in them. If I could get them at a reasonable price, I wouldn't care to just take my time and restore them and just keep them, because some of them are older, some of them ain't. But I just, like I said, I like doing it. But people don't want to pay what it costs to restore one. That right there behind that trigger's got so much powder built up you can scratch it off with your fingers. I don't know, I've always tried to take good care of my guns. And, you know, that's the most, I mean, if you want something to last, it's just like your car. You got to change the oil. You got to change your filters. You got to change your plugs. If they got plugs nowadays, I don't know if they do or not. You know, you got to maintenance that. And, I was trying to see if it had a little pin that held that firing pin in, because it's wanting to stick. If it's got a screw, I'll try to take it out and clean it. But if it don't, Y'all can see the dirt that's just coming out of that one little hole right there. No, that's got the little knock-in pin. So you have to drill that out, and I'm not going to do that. I'll just, put a little extra cleaner on that down in here where the firing pin is and work it back and forth and try to move all that stuff around to get it towards working a little better. There we go. Okay, now I'd wipe all this off. If it's got any oil, you don't know what kind of oil was on it. I know a feller that said that he cleans his with motor oil. And I try to get gun oil. I figured there's a reason they call it gun oil. And yeah, so gun's cleaned up real nice. Most people they don't really take the time to clean their guns and stuff like they should. It's a tool. I grant you that. It's nothing to lose your mind over. But I'm gonna rub this stocking stuff with this too. That way, if there's any kind of oil or anything on the stock, it'll take it off, and then I will re-oil it. But I just want to make sure there's nothing on that stock that's damaging it, because later I will be restoring it. There doesn't seem to be too bad of a spots in it. It's got one little crack right here. I can fix that, I think. I see a couple small dents that's fixable. But overall, this stock is in really good shape. Especially considering its age. I ain't hard as old as it is, but I've got more dents and cracks and stuff like that than it does. So surely if I can keep going, it can. Okay. I'm going to take this here loose. It's got a screw right here in the end of it. That's what holds all this together. Now, some of them come with screws here, but this one is back here in this. But be sure you lay them exactly where you know where they go, so they don't end up lost. It's also got a crack right down through here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I can also fix that. That is fixable. And I'm going to take this little screw out on this side. That's where it's got cracked. Somebody's over tightened this screw and cracked that stock. But if you take a real fine seam of glue and put it in there, most of the time you can put that back together and not hurt the, or at least fix the wood where it's not as noticeable. Now this right here is the little spring that holds it on. That thing is as gritty as if you put sand in it. See what I'm talking about? That's why you want to get in there and clean them up. It's just where this has got carried into the woods. And I'd say it's made several trips to the woods. And, you know, as you carry it, leaves and debris and stuff like that will fall down between the stock and the rifle. It's not like somebody's abused it too bad, I don't think. You can't never tell, but I wouldn't think they would have. I did see one, it wasn't this brand, but I seen a little old shotgun when I was researching this one that favored this one a terrible lot. And this will tell you how guns have went up. That little gun, brand new, through Sears and Roebuck, was $9.75. Now, if you go down there and get them for that now, boy, wouldn't that be a trick? Okay, I'm going to clean this. Because any kind of grid or anything on here, it's just wiring for no reason. So you want to get it all good and clean. You want to inspect your spring to make sure that it's still in good shape. And this one is. As you can see, it's just spring steel, just folds back. That's what locks the forearm on the gun. Now, let me look in here and find my oil. Now, I do like this Lucas gun oil. It's a little expensive, but I do like the Lucas line of products. So I do like using Lucas oil in this. Now, I'm going to put a drop on each end of this spring where that pin goes through. Right here and on the other side, just to lubricate it a little bit to make sure that it can work freely. Okay. Now I'm going to put it back into the forearm and replace the little bolt that come out of there. I've had a bunch of baby turkeys hatched. If y'all hear them cheeping down there, they're in here in the house with me. I like keeping them in here where I can watch them and make sure they eat and drink and all that. And I've got some little older guineas in there. I like to leave them guineas in there, or chickens, or whatever, because it seems like they learn better from them than they do from me. And I did not over tighten that. But from what I see, I think I will restore this gun this winter. I'm going to start lubricating everything and putting it back together. I don't want the video to run so long that everybody gets tired of watching it. But I'm putting a little drop of oil out these springs and down in here. Right here on the front of this, if you'll put one little drop and let it work, it'll work itself down in there. You'll see it disappear. And just work this back. Well, this just works one way. But you'll see it gets a little easier to work. Now, right here at the back of your hammer, you want to put a drop of oil on each side. Give it just a second to work down. Then just kind of work the trigger back, the hammer back and forth so it can put that lubricant down in there. And then if you look right here on the sides, let me see if I can show you. See this little pin above the trigger right here? That's your pivot pin for your trigger. So right straight across from it, come and put you a drop of oil on each side of your trigger. And let that work its way down in there, and it will go down there and lubricate that. And then you just sit there and work your trigger to let the oil work around. You'll feel it gets looser. Now it just loosened up. Okay. Now, I didn't clean this up yet, so let me go ahead and get this clean. Oh, I didn't tell you what this gun did. I think I told you it's an Eastern Arms Company 12 gauge. I had never heard of them, but back in the day, everybody and their grandpa was in the garage or somewhere, making a gun, and I don't know where it come from originally. It just come, to me, so, and I could afford it. And I bought it. I've had it now for a while, but I just wanted to get it out today and clean it. Okay, now I'm going to put the little bolt back into the forearm. And I'll tell you something else I think just crazy. Some of these old single barrel shotguns, they're asking $200 and $300 and $400 a piece for them. That's just unreal to me. I remember we used to be able to pick these up for $25 to $50 all day long, and nice. Now, if you went into the 37A Winchesters and stuff like that, now they was a little more expensive, but it's just like people done lost their minds or something. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and see. I'm gonna put just a drop of oil and rub it in on this because the wood does rub up it, and I want to go as smooth as possible, and this will kind of keep everything inside of it lubed. And it also makes a little watertight barrier. The oil does, so the water don't get down in there. And I'm putting it up here on this part of up in here in this little groove. I'm putting a little dab of it in there. I'm trying to rub it thin as I can. Okay. Now we just slide this back together. It'll go right in there and you'll feel it just click into place. Now I'm going to check this to see if it will tighten up enough to hold the butt steel, tight. If it don't, I'll have to hunt a washer or something to put in there because I definitely want that to stay tight. Okay. Yeah, that did it right there. Now that got it getting tight. Okay, I'm going to put the trigger guard back on it now. And here's the little square nut that went on that. I still think that's neat. I've never seen one with a square nut on it. The main thing is don't get in a hurry and don't force nothing. Anytime you're working on a gun, don't force nothing, because if you're having to force it, there's something, definitely not right. So you need to back up and check and see what's going on. Okay, that's good and tight. And I'm going to go ahead and put the little butt plate back on. That one little screw didn't want to come out, so I didn't want to take a chance of breaking that butt plate. So I'll just put it back on like it was until I get ready to do it. Then I will get that out and put a. You don't want to over tighten these either, because them little butt plates are weak, and they're just plastic, so they will break if you over tighten them. You just want them snug. You don't want to, overdo it, tear nothing up. Okay. Now, this big round piece right here is what the barrel drops off on. So I'm going to put a drop or two of oil on it, because that's actually the pin that the barrel rotates on. And I want to rotate smoothly. Okay, I'm going to put 1 drop of oil in there where the firing pin is to help it, where it can move freer. Okay, now this part's done. I want to dress the barrel because that's the only thing we like. And I'm going to wipe all this dirt. This here is really oily. And I want to check the condition of the barrel. Even though I shot it and I know it didn't fly apart, it's always a good, to give them a good once over and look at it real close. Now right here, see, it's showing a lot of wire. That'll be something I'll have to address when I decide to re-blue it and stuff. And it looks like somebody about knocked the pin off of it. There's enough of it. I will say, though, it's accurate with just that little piece. But right now, we're just trying to move any rust, debris, dirt, stuff like that, to where it's okay to go in the closet or the gun cabinet, safe, gun safe. Okay, now right here, this little shell ejector, I'm going to put a drop of oil at the bottom of it, right where it hits the barrel here on the bottom right here. And then I'm going to put one in here and a little bit right here so it'll have lubrication. And I'm going to take a little bit of oil to the bottom of this where it'll be under the wood and just rub it so it's protected. I'm not, going over. I'm just putting a little skim of oil is all I'm doing. Okay. We'll go ahead and reattach this. Make sure everything seems tight, and it does. Okay, now on this right here, you take this, and if you look right here, this little piece here on the barrel, you want to catch that, make sure it catches that, and then when you get it where it's in that little hook, you just snap it back together. It's just that simple. They used to make them where they was easy to take apart and clean and stuff. Didn't take so much to do it, but I'm going to go ahead and oil this rag a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and give everything a good thin coat of oil. I will push the swab down the barrel to clean it and oil it, but I want to go ahead and get this wiped down. It's like the stain is still on this gun. It's the shiny polyurethane part that's missing. But I will, fix that and dress all that later. But I mean, it's still a pretty good looking little gun. Make sure it comes apart. Now, when you hear that little click, if you look right where the ejector is, I would put a drop of oil just right there. And then I'll put this swab together real quick and we'll run a swab through it. Then it'll be done. Now, I've lost a little piece that makes these fit these swabs, these bigger swabs. I'll have to buy another cleaning kit here in a couple of days, and so I can put all that back together like it's supposed to be. I ain't measured that barrel. Looks like to me it's about a 30. It looks like it's about a 30-inch barrel, so I kind of like that too. Now I'm just gonna put some oil on this, and I'm gonna start it in there. Then I'm just gonna push it through with this rod, and we'll see how dirty that barrel is. Yeah, it's definitely a 30-inch barrel because this whole thing just barely did come through. Let me look and see how clean it is. That still needs a little more. It's got one little rough spot up in it. You can definitely tell somebody shot buckshot in it or something, because right about here, it's got some pretty rough pit in the barrel. May just been where that been cleaned. But when I address the blue and stuff, I'll address that too. I don't know if I can get that where you can see it or not, but overall, the barrel is in pretty good shape. I mean, it's good and clean. But I'm gonna rub it down one more time, and then I'll end the video and let y'all go do something else. But I just wanted to clean this old gun up a little bit, and maybe it'll help somebody know how to clean theirs up, or one like it all, about like these single barrels clean up about the same. Just give it a good rub down, and there she is, a Eastern Arms Company 12 gauge full choke, and I think it's chambered in 3-inch. It doesn't even say that. But I would say it is. It seems like it would be. The chamber's plumb out to there, so I'm going to say it is. But it's a nice little firearm. I got it reasonable, and, it'll be one of them that I keep forever, and I will, restore it this winter. And I hope y'all will join me then and watch me restore it. All right, I'm going to end the video. Y'all have a good day. Have a blessed day, and thank you so much for coming watching the video. Subscribe if you haven't. Like, if you got a comment, give me a comment. And y'all have a blessed day, and we'll see you on the next video.